this one. Yeah. Small side? Okay. As small as this side.
Oh, you? Oh. I always I'm taller than most people.
How are you?
Anybody?
Okay.
1, 2, 1,
2,
1, 2,
1,
2,
1,
2, 1, 2. Hey, right, face.
That's all right. That's okay.
That's right.
I know you are.
Count off by twos.
1, 2,
1, 2,
See them do the curly
1,
shuffle.
2.
Yeah, you gotta fix that.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Assume the position.
Sit down.
One, right in front of you. Justin, Justin, you step back. Rear rank move down.
Good. Move down one.
Perfect. Perfect. See the way you guys are falling in now? Dress up that rear rank. Dress it up. Dress it up. Dress it up. This is the way you should fall in all the time, just like this. Okay, NCOs are perfectly put in the ranks. This here, this is first platoon. This is second platoon. The captain is in charge of first platoon with the first sergeant. The lieutenant's in charge of second platoon. So we break into platoons, which occasionally we have to do. You know where your spots are, but these are your spots, so please remember them. Order, arms. Order, arms. Company, go into fours. Right, face. Move up, boys, move up. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Front. Company, left, face. Fours,
One step
fours.
up.
One step up. Front. Left face to one step up. Right face to two step up. Company left face. Front. Company right face. Okay. Here's a scenario. Marching down a road. There's a road here. The Rebs hit us in the front. We can't fight like this unless we street fight. If there's a company of Rebs or a battalion or regiment firing at us, they're gonna decimate us. So we gotta give a battle front. So the command will be by company into line. So where you are, all you do is give me that battle front right here. Okay? By company into line, halt. Let's go, guys. Nice and slow.
Right shoulder shift.
Methodically and slow.
Right shoulder shift.
Bravo.
Check out right shoulder shift.
Right shoulder shift. That's okay. It's all right. The right shoulder shift part of it is just
Right away.
minute. It's the idea of getting you into that battle front so we can lay into it. Okay? That's all it is. You're always the battle front. Company. Right face. Forward by fouls left. March. Company. Halt. We can hit the right flank. I want to tell them before this. We can't do by the right flank because then we're way out of whack. So this command is on the right by files into line. This is the way this works. You guys want to. We step off, and we're going to turn face. Okay? When the last man, which is you, Michael,
If it's anything like us, this is going to be ugly.
all you're doing is giving me a battlefront facing this way. Okay? On the right, by files into line, don't forget though, you got to cross over. Cross each other over. Battlefront. Right, by files into line. Wood, march. Go, come on, go.
That wasn't too bad. I've seen worse. Yeah.
Second right first.
We have the same problem.
This is the movement we do all
Yeah.
the season. At every event.
We should
No
do a
matter where
joint
it is,
one
this is what
because
they
we
do.
follow the same
Up,
thing.
let's try it again. Right face. Going forwards. On the right by fouls into line. March. Bravo. That's it, boys. That's it. Bravo. And as soon as we get into line, you guys just open fire. Let them wait.
Captain, we received an urgent communication from the regiment. We'd like to read it to you now, sir. Do I have your permission? Please do. Corporal Justin, please come forward, along with our ordnance sergeant. Head forward.
Headquarters, 1st Long Island Regiment, March 30th, 1864. Order number 1. Sergeant Major Kenny is hereby discharged from the ranks, effective March 30th, 1864, and mustered in as Brevet Second Lieutenant, appointed to Company K this regiment, effective March 31st, 1864, and will be obeyed and respected accordingly.
Please step forward.
With honor and dignity, promote you to first lieutenant. It's first lieutenant, not second lieutenant. You knew where the balls at first lieutenant. Congratulations. Well earned.
Order number 2. 1st Lieutenant Demaria is here. Captain to Major.
Captain, this is about you, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's been news of your behavior that's reached regimental command.
What else is new?
Provost Marshal, this may involve you. Just be careful. But we think it's something positive. We don't know for sure.
I'm your huckleberry.
Please proceed.
Order number 3. Captain Bilardello, Company K this regiment, is hereby breveted to Major to take effect March 31st, 1864, and is whereupon transferred to regimental headquarters. By order, George Lincoln Jr., Adjutant.
I'd like to ask Private Dennis to please come up with me. Please step forward. Please step forward, sir.
Take his musket.
Charlie's here. That's right there. That's Charlie.
And Charlie, please come forward.
Former sergeant.
Former Sergeant Charlie. I'd like each of you to do the honor, as you are founding members of the 67th.
Just hit him.
Hit him on the shoulders. Punch the shoulder,
He wants blood wings.
Just punch it, just smack it, that's all. Just,
Always want
that's
to
it, that's good. They're tagged, they're on. They're on.
Okay.
All right, just take them.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Congratulations, Major. Let's hear it for the new Major. I also motion that any complaints about him for bad behavior is forgotten now, because he can actually get us all shot. So I'd like to congratulate him on this great award.
It's only fitting. Due to my new command.
Texas, you get it there.
You know that.
Whoa.
Me blonde hair. Hey, the major's a car wash.
When you look at those endorsements, Leslie Simpson Grant, Phil Sheridan, and Tuscan William Sheridan. You guys got to watch movies on this thing. That's fun. Okay.
We have to promote,
At this time, all right.
if you could stand over there. Stand over there and move the
Lieutenant,
read the order.
Order number 2. First Lieutenant Demaria is hereby breveted Captain, Company K, this regiment, to take effect March 31st, 1864, and will be obeyed and respected accordingly. By order, George Lincoln Jr., Adjutant.
It is with great honor and privilege that I promote Tom to captain. He's earned these. He's been with me every step of the way. He's been the best line officer I could have working next to me. His knowledge and experience of people. He's going to treat you well. You take care of this man no matter what. That's your job. You take care of your officer. With that, I officially hand over the regimental to you. The 67 is now your command.
It's here for the captain. Hip hip!
You're going to be needing these. This is everything you're going to need to know.
Joe, I'll never know as much as you know, Joe, for sure. I think
Those will come in handy.
Joe has given me these to, if you guys are not good, I have a weapon now. That's discipline in the unit. I think you don't gain a new captain. We'll always have our captain here, and believe it or not, modern equipment means that we can actually call him for advice and guidance.
Yes.
And Joe will be that's either in his real presence or our lasting memories of all the wonderful things that Joe has meant to us. Joe, enough can't be said about your leadership, but he's not leaving. He's always with us. Joe will always be a member of the 67th, and we'll see him at events. And any shot of whiskey we have, we'll remember our captain. Okay? Joe, would you like to say some words now or inside? What would
Yes,
you like
I will. I'd like to say some words now,
Okay,
if
sir.
I can. Now is the time to close ranks. I'm not here anymore. Close ranks and stand strong. Learn from each other. Most importantly, protect one another. And never, ever let anybody walk in front of your command. Never. You know what happened in Gettysburg? They tried it with me. That will not happen with the 67 ever. This is your command. That's your commander. And that's your lieutenant. Listen to what the NCOs have to say. A lot of times on the field, you're going to be so involved with what's going on that certain things you're not going to see. But the boys will see it, and they'll remind you. And you'll say, oh yeah, okay. There is no doubt that you guys are the best. There is no doubt. You proved it time and time again. You shit at the fan. You guys are there. Mike, he's a drink right now.
That's coming up, sir. That's coming up. Okay. Company K. Present ours.
Captain, you come over here. Stand to his left. Take the salute.
Shoulder, arms. Order, arms.
Major, there are a few people who'd like to say something while we are in our battlefront. I'd like to call forth Sergeant Charlie and Private Dennis. Please come to the front, please. Both being...
This is totally cold. Joe, no matter what you do, don't pull in the gray suit. Don't wear the gray suit, Master.
No, never.
I know Joe since about 1990, so that's close to 30 years. And way before then, we were with a different organization. And Joe was one of 4 corporals. Right? Yeah. And we Corporal Barney
Kelly.
Right. And he welcomed me immediately. Dennis followed suit much after that, and he took us right in, and we grew. About 98? Yeah. 98, we decided. We had our own little clique in there called the East End Boys. They were all from Suffolk County, basically. And we decided that we needed a change, and we wanted to become a really authentic organization. And we started. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when we formed our organization, we had no officer. Joe was the only sergeant in charge of us. But then we said, well, we need an officer so when we go to larger engagements, we don't get kicked around. So Joe became a second lieutenant, and he worked his way up. We've been through a lot together. When we go inside, I got 2 pictures of Joe and myself from the 130th Gettysburg in 1993. We had more hair then, a little thinner then.
You were drunk, really?
No, we weren't drunk. And when you look at the picture of the small one, just take a look at the tents behind us. It went on for miles and miles and miles and miles. Unfortunately, the participation numbers have been going down. Joe, we've been through a lot. You've been the driving force behind the 67th since day one. You stepped up to be our sergeant, you stepped up to be our president, you stepped up to be our historian, you stepped up to be, I don't know, whatever else you may have done. You know, and you're the driving force, and I'm happy to see. What happens when we get, this is the rest of the remaining guys, what happens when you're gone? But now I see that guy's falling in. Max is another story. I remember Ben Maxing on his first event down Pennsylvania, and he's nothing but a shaved tail, you know. And Tom, I didn't know who was going to step up. I think you guys are going to be in really good hands. But just one more point: when we started the organization, we didn't want to go above 20 people, and it's good to see it grow. You got to keep this program alive. You got to keep history alive. The reason we do history is so we don't have the same mistakes in years to come. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Colonel, Major, whoever.
I first met Joe at a reenactment up in Hammonasset, in Connecticut, and it was my first reenactment. And marching down, I decided I'm going to take a hit, so I took a hit. The brand new rifle went up in the air, and I went in the other direction. This guy comes up in back of me and he says, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, yeah. No, are you okay? He looks me in the eye. Are you okay? Yes. All right, drink water. And I got up later on in the afternoon, the same thing. Same guy comes up to me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Looks me in the eye. No, I mean, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. All right, drink water. So later I asked somebody, who's this guy that wants to know if I'm okay? Oh, that's Joe Bilardello. He's the file closer. It's his job. Don't worry about it. And I'm thinking, no, there's something different. This is not his job. He really wanted to know how I was. He wanted to know how all the other guys were. He was the real deal. And he has been that way ever since. It stood him in good stead. And the day he called to find out if I wanted to join the new organization, he gets on the phone. He said, "Dennis, we've got a new organization. It's a 67." And he's going on and on. I said, "Yeah, Joe, I'm there. Don't worry about it. I'm there." But he's got his speech, and he's going through it. "Well, it's going to be called a 67. Joe, I'm there. I'm with you. Don't worry about it." And on and on. And he said, so at the end of 15, 20 minutes, "Dennis, you want to join with us?" I said, "Joe, I'll tell you the same thing now as I told you 15, 20 minutes ago." "Yeah, I'm with you." So he's had my back all these years. He's the real deal. He's honest. He's just the right kind of guy to watch your back. We all call ourselves brothers. He's more of a brother to me than my own brother. So, Joe, I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to have it. And it's been a pleasure to know you all these years.
Would anybody else like to say a few words? Okay.
Hey, let's hear it for Dennis, the last of the originals. Right, Dennis?
Company on my command. Attention, company. Present arms. Order arms.
Before we head inside, is there anybody else who'd like to say something? To the
Yes,
captain?
I would.
Please, Mike.
I need somebody to take that.
Since your captain is headed down to Texas as a Dixie Border Patrol officer, we had put his paperwork into Richmond, and there was some debate whether or not he was allowed to cross the Potomac. However, Miss Mary Chestnut put in a good word for him, and so now I would like to present him with his green card, which states, Confederate States of America, Immigration and Naturalization Service.
Shouldn't I be reading that?
This green card is a citizen of the Northern United States and has been granted the privilege of living within the Confederacy. Privilege has been granted by virtue of marriage to a Southerner, adoption, or exhibiting a willingness to forego inbreed damn Yankiness. Reverting back to damn Yankee way of life will automatically result in the voiding of this card and immediate deportation across the Potomac. Sir.
I'm officially a Confederate.
No, you're allowed to go to the dark side.
The dark side is
For anybody that doesn't know, Joe and I worked together on the railroad
For years.
and he used to call me Billy Bob. Used to walk this way. It was Fort Jeff, Spionk. Then he retired.
Retired, yeah.
I showed up here 2015 for the Grange. And she's not here, but I have to blame her, Aniella. Look at that car. And she pointed me in the direction of Tom. I found Joe on the field, and it's been love ever since.
Yeah,
brother.
Yeah, that's right. We threw a lot of locomotives together, you and I.
I'm gonna miss you, man.
Yeah.
Brian.
Captain Joe, the 67th is going to miss you dearly. We'll never forget you, and you made it very special for us. We've been on a lot of adventures together, a lot of battlefields, and it's been an honor and a privilege to serve under your command.
Anybody else like to say a few words?
I'm not disappearing, gentlemen. I'm just relocating. been an honor and a privilege to serve as your captain. Now, Major.
Thank you, Colonel.
I'll always be Captain Joe to you guys.
Captain, I want to say thanks for...
Timmy!
I am Timmy!
Timmy! This is Timmy! This is Timmy.
Captain, to me, I have to say that his talent is finding out what you're best at. He looked at me, he made a very quick assessment of me, and he put me in the right position. And that's not something that's not, you gotta work and you gotta learn how to do that. So that's what I appreciate. I also told him on many occasions how much I appreciate his leadership. And I mentioned last time we were in Gettysburg how he stood by the men, and he makes it very clear, the regiment knows who we are. He makes that dividing line. He's with the regiment, but he's got his men. So I always feel really an important part of your contingency, and I really appreciate your leadership. And
don't ever lose that.
We won't.
Don't
It's
ever
so fun.
lose
You
that.
already injected it into the unit, so we're going to carry that on, that legacy.
That's important.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I have two memories I'd like to share with the captain, but since it's a public place, I'll share them later.
Don't ask, don't tell.
The two I'd like to share, though, is I was starting as a sergeant in the 67th, and I was trying to get the men ready. We were at Cedar Creek, ready to face an oncoming Confederate onslaught. And when you first see 500, 1,000 guys coming at you, you're kind of a little shaky, and I was trying to push the guys forward. So I'm talking to the guys and trying to get them to go forward, and one of the guys says, "Where's the captain?" He was 20 feet ahead. He used to attack the whole Confederate army by himself. So we had to hustle after this guy, and it was a run, trying to catch up with Captain Joe when he was on the attack. And I always remember that zeal and that fun. And the funny thing is, they had to restrain Captain Joe and that other guy from the 69th PA because they were pushing the Reds back into the parking lot, and we had to stop them. So Joe's courage has no bounds. The other part of it, though, I remember when I was a private and I first joined the 67th, I had seen other units have the privates bring their supper to the captain or whoever's the CO of that organization. And I remember getting some food, bringing it to the captain. And the captain says, "That's very nice of you, but the boys eat first, I eat last." And if I can remember two things about Joe that I always remember is, he puts us first, always puts us first. Even that first swig of whatever concoction, it's always somebody else first, and he drinks less.
Purposes, Lieutenant.
The medicine in camp, we always make sure he gets the last sip, but not the first sip. And we always know he was leading us from the front, not from behind. He wasn't one of the guys who was behind leading us, he was right up there. And I think, Captain, those are the two things I'll always remember, both your service to us, your priority on the men, but also your strong leadership, sir. And it's big steps, choose to step in, but your spirit will be with me and with us all. So I'd like to...
Stay strong, stay together, watch one another. I'm only a phone call away. It's nothing that you can't call me. If I'm at the Alamo teaching, call me anyway. I don't care. Call me. You guys come first. You always will in my life.
Anybody else like to say anything? Yes.
Captain, Major, I've been here very long, and I followed you from World War II to the Civil War, and you gave me my first blues. Sorry, sweetie. And but through it all, you've become a father figure to me, and I'm not going to forget you.
That's not it.
We're doing that?
Well, it's kind of on the Bible.
Only a listen. Started off with, it's going to go bad real fast.
Really?
You didn't let him complete the kowtow.
You bow to no one. No one. None of you guys bow to no one. Never, ever.
Well said, sir.
Bill, would you like to say anything, sir? No? Anybody else like to say anything? It's like the wedding vow, but we'll get to talk to him again.
We'll see him next month.
We'll see him next month. Okay, First Sergeant, can you please step forward and complete your orders for the day, sir?
Okay, attention. Shoulder, arm. Okay, we will proceed to dismiss and proceed to the church and follow the balance of the day. Dismissed.
All right. Everybody have your coffee? Everybody have? Okay. All please rise for the pledge. Say arms. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Have a seat, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and seeing me off. I can't say how much this means to me. This is my last time you're going to hear me speech. So, okay. Do you have any new membership here? Any new people? No? Everything's good?
Yeah, the back.
In the back there. Oh! Why don't you guys stand up and introduce yourselves?
My name is Ben. I am 15 years old. I'm 8 and I'm 14.
Okay, you guys love history? You like camping?
Yep.
You like marching? You like big armies and big wars and fights? Well, this is the place for you. As long as you like bugs and camping out.
And things that go boom.
As you know, I'm retiring to another state. But you got a great captain, a lieutenant. This is a great organization. We're incorporated in the New York State Board of Regents. We're a real association. We're not a fly-by-night place. We do a lot of educational programs throughout the year. We do a lot of parades. We save a lot of battlefields as much as we can. So we do a lot of work. So this is not just some organization that's going to burn powder. We're all about education and preserving history. All righty? Okay, welcome. Secretary's minutes, I was all sent out on the email. So I'd like somebody to make a motion that we do not read the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Rich. Max, do you have any flashbacks?
Yes, I do. Yep. I have flashbacks. Nothing quite as memorable as this year. However, 20 years ago, 1999, we firmed up plans for the Halleckville Farm School Program, which we used to do way out where the sea monsters live. 15 years ago, 2004, we donated $200 to Appomattox Courthouse. 10 years ago, 2009, we just wrapped up our first program of the season in Rockville Center, which I headed up, and so far it was the only one that we've actually held where it actually snowed. And the kids were very grateful to be putting on all that wool clothing. Let's see, okay, now 5 years ago was pretty eventful. Unfortunately, very same month, 2014, Jerry Lane passed away very suddenly, and he was our brand new treasurer. And he was also taking care of preservation. And I guess this is a good example of when change hits, and thankfully Joe is not being carried out on a sheet, is preservation then went to Will Demaria. He volunteered for it. And since then, preservation has been with the historian's position ever since. And as far as treasurer is concerned, that's when Joe Fanuelli stepped up, and he's been the monopoly guy ever since. And also, we officially inducted Mike Boyle as a full member of the 67th, so welcome to the 5-year club. 1 year ago in March, the Civil War statue in Patchogue was carted off to Ohio for repairs. It's been up for ransom ever since. And also congratulations to Jim Kuzo and Scott McKendrick, because we made them full members that month. 1 year. And that's what I have.
Okay. All those in favor of the Secretary's minutes? Opposed? All right, thank you.
Captain, we have a special presentation today. Corporal.
All right, Captain, first of all, when I first came up with this idea and I presented it to Max and Tom, Max suggested that you might not want, if you're getting rid of stuff, you don't want anything else to take with you. So I was kind of like, I hesitated for a minute. But then when I told them what I was doing, they thought it was a great idea. Just something for you to hopefully take with you in your new home, as a reminder of us. First of all, this is a card from all of us. Something that you did.
Oh, wow.
This is from Gettysburg. I apologize if there's anyone that was not there, but I thought this was the largest grouping of us recently. So
That's going right in my den.
and you can hang this. It's actually got a clip on there, so you can hang it.
Thank you so much.
And at this point, obviously the festivities will continue, but does anybody else like to say anything about us as a group? Max?
Okay. I know I said I would never return to this.
We're hoping to.
All right. I really do feel compelled to say something. I didn't want to say anything out there on the field, since really my relationship with Joe has been as president. And as you all know, I was president for 9 years. You know, I had no idea what was in store, and I've never run anything in my life. I am perfectly happy to be a freaking wallflower and just be private. I'm the quintessential loner with the hoodie, pulled up in a shack. And then I thought, you know what, this is a dark path. Maybe I should try something a little different. And I cared about the 67th, so I became president. And it turned out to be quite more difficult than I expected. And the first president, of course, was Joe. And our vice president, may he rest in peace, was Brian Niesing. And really, the three of us, we were the triad, or triumvirate, or however you want to call it. And we actually had to steer the ship, and it was rough seas. I'm not going to go into the gory details. Some of the older members certainly remember bits of it. We've actually been sailing on pretty calm seas lately. And you know, I have to thank Joe. He was an unknown. You know, I have to admit. When I first met you, I was kind of thought to myself, who the hell is this guy? And I thought, yeah, he's all over the place. You know, I don't want to make him. What am I making this guy? And I was intimidated. I have to admit, I was intimidated. And sure enough, soon I began to learn Joe's ways and realized that he was a lot more bark than bite, and he was very encouraging and supportive, and I couldn't have made it through the years as the president unless I had his back. Because I learned from Joe and from Brian that you have to accept people as they are. And Joe, I certainly accept, and Joe's been a great mentor, and he did step up. I didn't expect him to take over the presidency when I decided to resign, but he did it, and really we're the only two left who understand what that's like. And I would like to say that on behalf of our new president, who is number 4, only the 4th man ever to hold this office, that the two of us, I think I could speak for Joe, is that we have full confidence in you to run this unit, certainly at least into the elections. We're very happy. Listen, Joe and I can speak from experience. When we had our divorce, which was about 9 years ago, which was very rough on us, and you showed up just 2 weeks after it, and I tell you, it was like the black clouds just separated, and just,
It was like you came out from the heavens at the right time.
Right.
So saying that was how you had a relationship.
And
say is thank God you're here.
But yeah, we went through some rough times. We did.
Thank you, Max.
Then Tom came listen to on the new business now. We're going to transition into the association leadership.
Do you want to explain what's going on?
Okay, according to the bylaws, well, first of all, we are two organizations. One is the association, and we have a mission within the association to try to do our best in order to reenact and be as close to the original soldiers of the 67. In order to do that, we have formed Company K to do that. We're all in unity. The change of command took place. We now have a new captain, but there's another part that has to be done, and that is to nominate and sign in a temporary president. So it has to come from the floor, who we're going to nominate as the new temporary president. He will serve as such until next election in January of 2020. So the executive board, members of the executive board, which is captain, which is the president, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer, the historian, and the 4 members of the trustees. We have to vote on that, and with that, we appoint the new acting president until next election. So with that, the members of the executive board, can I have a nomination from the floor?
I nominate Tom.
Is there a second?
I second, President.
Second.
Let's put it to a vote. Executive board, how do we vote for Tom?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. With that is carried. Mr. President, you can do the honor in presenting the new president's speech to the acting president.
There's some big shoes to step in, but I wanted to just assure you guys that everything will change. Things always evolve, even with Joe, under Joe's leadership, we've evolved. We've been in different organizations, from the Mifflin Guard to the USVs to the 2nd Regiment. So although it looks like this is a big change, it's still the 67th, it's still the men. You guys make up the 67, it's not leadership. Joe's flexibility, adaptability, creativity, and intelligence helped get us through those changes. And we're going to have through another change, and Joe will still be with us during this whole time. In terms of where I am as president, this is a temporary position. We really need to think about both the vice president position that's being unoccupied right now and the president's position. We'll need to talk with everybody, and I encourage you to speak to members of the executive board about who is willing to take on the presidency and vice presidency. With that, obviously, we should have a lot of discussion, and we'll talk about it. But I think in interest of continuity, we just keep myself acting at least to the next meeting, and not start to pursue that discussion at this meeting. So there's a lot of things and a lot of input that needs to be received, but I think let's move past this transition as seamlessly as possible. Joe's here. He promised he'll take my phone calls all the time. But more important, I want to have the chance to talk to you guys and learn from you. But we do need to fill at least one temporary position, that's the vice president, or temporarily the president, if somebody would like to step up and the members vote on that. So at least for the next month, I'll be acting. Since I'm a reenactor, that's okay. But at least next month, I'll be leading this whole transition team. So if you have any questions, certainly I'll be the person to speak with. Joe is still available too, so he's obviously somebody who can rely on.
We need a vice president today.
We need an acting vice president? Okay.
Right, Bill?
We can do without one temporarily until
next meeting.
Yeah, April.
Yes. As long as you're not going anywhere. Because he normally steps in.
If you're going to trip somewhere, you need a vice president.
Well,
yes,
the
sir.
secretary would take over.
And the secretary would step up.
Yeah.
As you're aware, I do travel around the country to disasters. Currently, I'm going down to Parkland again. There's been several suicides, and I've been down there since the school shooting. I do fly around the country. I just came to California related to the wildfires, helping kids and families who lost people out there. So I do travel occasionally. I'll try not to plan a natural disaster around it. Do my best, but that's why we needed a lieutenant to take that. But it is important to have a vice president or a secretary step in. But certainly Max is a capable leader. So I'd like that discussion to take place at the next meeting about the 2 executive positions. I'd like to ask the members if that's okay, if we can wait till next meeting. So can I have a motion to wait till next meeting?
Captain, I suggest we have a motion to hold off till the next meeting before we elect the officers.
Scott, seconded Joe. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, and for new members again, you guys, hopefully this meeting hasn't been too terrible for you. But please speak to any of the members about equipment. Stay away from Mike, he's with the reps. He's going to try to... Are you waiting in the back door with applications?
Come to the dark side.
Again, let's join the captain, and if he can't make it, of course, to our celebration across the street, Major will be here to express anything you want to say, but I can assure you that knowing our Major and Joe, he's around. He's always going to be around, and he was sincere in his offer to have us come visit him.
Absolutely.
And to retake the state of Texas for the Grand Union. Of course, getting the guns in airplane might be more.
Oh, that's fine.
Mr. President?
I know I have this.
I have to get a picture of the new president. Hang on.
Keep going, keep going.
All right.
Beautiful.
Got it.
I was going to do this, but I need something else.
You know what this is? This is the before picture.
On that happy note, Major.
Mr. President,
Yes,
can
sir.
I have the executive board remain after everybody leaves?
The executive board remain after everybody leaves. The Major will step outside and greet all you guys. If the executive board can stay the minute, our ordnance sergeant would like to speak to us. Guys, welcome, and next door after.
I think they open at 12 though. I think they're open right now.
Something said 11 o'clock.
11?
Yeah, 11.
Okay, meeting's closed.